So now we do see the fact of the matter that they're accusing Trump of inflating his income in all ways. I mean, let's look at this thing from a perspective of mainly much governmental and governmental people, and even people who are not in government, entrepreneurs, rich people, so on and so on, even middle class, whatever, you know what I'm saying, have done this before, inflating the income. This still does not warrant a $350 million settlement based on this situation, or to be barred from New York State based on doing business in New York. You know what I'm saying? When we look at these garbage ass charges that is brought before Donald J. Trump, it doesn't make much sense in no way. But in their book, they see it that way because that's how they roll. You know what I mean? It's all right for the demon Democrats to do all kinds of garbage in itself. You know what I'm saying? But it's not all right for Donald J. Trump, a 4-year standing president. You know what I'm saying? But we see Kalabrisky, or whatever his name is, argue that Trump is guilty of most tax evasion, and that's what I would say in itself, if that's the case. You see what I'm saying? But I would not be barring him, nor putting that type of money judgment on a standing president, you know what I'm saying, to me, or an individual that you say is not the president, and now he's, you know, a civilian. You know what I'm saying? And you are imposing gigantic amounts of overwhelming, unrealistic money judgment on Donald Trump. So we see where the New York State law used to go after, they use a New York law, used to go after, the law that the state used to go after Trump have never been used in this way, historically, and while Trump, you know what I'm saying, in many ways may owe some back to the state in itself, you know what I mean? We know that it's still in a ridiculous amount. And I've never seen the court allow this, even on, especially on wealthy people in itself. You know what I'm saying? So if he owes, the law that they use, in other words, he said, in this, you've never seen a law used in this way historically, and while Trump may owe some back state taxes, if Judge E. Gorin is right, not a single bank claim that it had been defaulted by Trump in the loan it had made him, he wrote, this is truly a victimless crime. That we know that the post-Northwest law professor calls the $350 million judgment against Trump the most unjust act in U.S. policy since Burr killed Hamilton. Hamilton first appeared on the media, you know what I'm saying, in itself. So we know it's straight garbage in itself, because that's the same way what he just mentioned, I agree with on all levels. You know what I'm saying? They are using a lot of historical bullshit, you know what I'm saying, that have never been used, you know, in that way against a standing president in itself. Because Donald Trump is still a standing president to me. I don't care who don't like him and who don't. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. What you're talking about is emotional. I've even seen where some people saying, I cannot be friends with somebody who vote, you know, in a different party, or vote for a different party, or I can't be friends with somebody. The fuck is you talking about? You a garbage ass piece of shit. And if that's the way you feel, you should not be voting in our election at all. Because we should not be letting the demon Democrats drive our emotion to that of a child. What the fuck you mean if he votes Democrat, you vote Republican, he votes independent, he votes popular party, and he votes something, y'all can't be fucking friends? It is not about the emotion of who wins and who this and who that. It's about who's going to get the job done to secure our borders, secure our country from a nuclear fucking fallout, jackass, and every fucking thing else, especially what's going on around the world and the affiliation of our name, our weapons, our money, and everything else involved in the fucking genocide of people across the planet. You asshole. And this has been the mind frame, even going back years, all across the planet. You should be ashamed of your fucking self to call yourself a human being or even any kind of being on this here planet. We got a lot of sick motherfuckers that come around you and think that they more slicker than you. You know what I'm saying? But really they're weaker, slower, and mindless. And these are the people they use to do the bullshit that they do. Many of them talking that garbage you talk. This is not a war, motherfucker. This is about voting for the right person as chief and commander in the seat, not a dictator, not a totalitarian government, not a fucking dictatorship, not none of that. This is a free state, you motherfuckers. So if I vote for Trump or Creepy Biden or Kamala or whoever, I did not place that vote for us to become fucking enemies, you asshole. This is about cleaning up the country and getting the country on its feet in the rightful ways. In many ways, even in the affiliation of foreign affairs. And many other things. Because right now, what we're seeing in the Gaza Strip and Biden creepy ass butthead fucking knucklehead fucking jackass created and invaded the fucking country we call Egypt, Damascus, Jerusalem, and all of that you want to call it. It is Egypt. And that's the last known plateau and territory and the name and the greatness thereof. There were many civilizations huger than that prior to even what we see in Egypt. Black as well. So the garbage that this knucklehead fucking idiot has done by making these people believe in some religious shit and then using that to catalyst your ass years ago into removing the Africans from that plateau you call Egypt and invading it later on after it's all set up and done and said, and move in and call yourself Israel. Talking about you the 144,000 chosen people and all type of lying garbage you put in the minds of the people. Now you feel we have the mercy on you that you can go over there and be there all these years, call yourself manipulating shit into calling you the capital, and then now when you say you spark out some conspiratorial attack bullshit, you out there killing the fucking people, and the American people should be goddamn ashamed to be sitting here letting this shit go on in Africa, from Ethiopia, Sudan, Congo, and many other wars that took place, even with Aristide and many other Africans in Africa, even Idi Amin, Papadat Duvalier, and many other motherfuckers that have been plaguing the black race using these black niggas to do so. This must stop. We must come to some kind of realization that these wicked beasts that calling themselves involved in a criminal group called NATO is doing this garbage, and many others before them. It ain't just them. Such as we see here in this one. Probably Mike Pence crew, we would call this one, because we so done with that clown. He should have never been next to Trump at all. You know, say he's a criminal, a deep stater, a criminal, and a crook. I was watching his ass the whole entire time, standing over Donald J. Trump, looking down while he's signing papers, like, yeah, sign it, oh yeah. You know, he ain't watching the camera, you know, while Donald Trump, he just watching what fucking Donald Trump, making sure he signed. That's it. Now we see Nashville neo-Nazi March sparks conspiracy. Yeah, along with Michael Pence quiz, yes. You know what I'm saying? But we see your neo march through Tennessee Capitol Saturday sparks a slew of wild claims on social media that extremist rally was staged by Democrats. And yes, it is. Fuckhead. This is what Joe Biden, Antifa Patchy the Killing Weasel, Billy the Nut Ghost fucking blood-sucking Goat Gates and his wife, and all of them put together, Kamala, all of them rappers, stars, all of them is involved in this bullshit. This is why much of the young people will sit there and argue with you as to who is right and who is wrong based on the political election. Don't give me that bullshit. And I don't give a fuck who listening. Because if I'm gonna live on planet Earth with these crazy motherfuckers, then there's a whole lot of nutcase, jackass, twisted, bumphead, bald-head fucking idiots. And that's a fact. And point blank. Because I don't motherfucking play that. You ain't gonna manipulate my mind in no way. So they think they were doing over the years. That they were manipulating, they were moving, they were this, they were that. You ain't manipulating a motherfucking thing, nigga. Because your words are cheap and worthless. The only thing you do is violence, killing, murder, and blood-sucking bullshit. You nasty ass. The demonstration seems to sport red t-shirts, black flags, and swastika in bronze or whatever on them, and making Nazi salute. You know what I'm saying? Well, you need to read, if you have a chance and you have some brains on you, you know what I'm saying, and do some research. I don't give a fuck who's a tyrant, who's not. Because at this point, we're at the point of no return. You need to read all of Hitler's memoirs and so on. Not that dumb, not the book they use down there calling it their Bible. No, we're talking about Hitler's memoirs and the different things that he may have said and so forth on. Because sometimes we have to examine a tyrant in order to know where we're going. You know what I'm saying? When we're talking about what we're talking about today. While people are talking, this is, hey, that was so long ago, that World War ended, nobody alive, don't say this is 2023. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but you still got the Nazi, neo-Nazi group who still living off that premise. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, walk through, they did salute, walk through Nashville before standing in front of the state capitol building to wave their flags. You know what I'm saying? To wave their flags. The group was identified as members of the Blood Tribe Neo-Nazi Group. The Blood Tribe Neo-Nazi Group. A men-only organization, a all-men, I guess, organization, started in the last 4 years by Christopher, whatever his name is, his last name, P-O-H, look like L-H-A-U-S, a former U.S. Marine and tattooed, artist, according to Hate Watchdog Anti-Defamation League. You know what I'm saying? Several accounts on X, formerly Twitter, push a narrative in which demon Democrats had engineered. Well, they are. The demon Democrats are the ones started the Ku Klux Klan. What are you talking about? The demon Democrats set off the Ku Klux Klan terrorist, in-house terrorist group in order to control the political arena, you know what I'm saying, through assassinations, killing, and murder and all type of shit. That's a fact. And their motives is truly very chaotic and not clearly known. You know what I'm saying? March to support their, assertion that there was a problem with white supremacy in America, with some claiming This was done with the help of the federal agency. Yes, this is alleged, staged, Democrats. It was staged by Democrats with feds posing as a neo-Nazi group. It wouldn't be impossible, would it? One account, poised with one another since being vowed 11,700 times. Those are President Joe Creep-ass Biden supporters actually, Tara Lynn Thompson, a writer said in a post viewed 12,100 times. Like I said, they were the ones who started the Ku Klux Klan. They were the ones who invaded our government, even though it was on both sides of the border. Just because you say it was Republican and it was Democrat, it doesn't make any difference, because many of them have cross-party line affiliation, and many of the narrative in which many of the black people who started it, whether they were slave masters or whatever they were, probably didn't intend it to go down where we see it today. On February 17, 2024, a neo-Nazi group organized by the FBI held a protest in Nashville. Lawrence, selling in U.S. Army veteran claim, selling a U.S. Army veteran claim. There is no white national nor supremacist movement in the U.S., so the FBI has to create one to fit the political narrative. Of the demon Democratic Party, for whom the FBI is, who the FBI is. And read that again. They has to create one, and yes, they did. Create one to fit the political narrative of the demon Democratic Party, for whom the FBI is its law enforcement arm. Boom. Now you think that's impossible and it's a dream, huh? You think that you're going to water that down and say it's not the truth? Yes, it is. They've been doing this type of shit for years to keep us divided and separated and at each other's throat. This is how they were able to go into the Gaza Strip and do the shit that they do. This is how they were able to pass off laws and executive laws and many other bullshit to force you into what just took place in 2020 to 2022 to 23. And many have done it, and see where the result of it is getting you. Now you're mad when somebody says something about it to you, but I'm not interested in reaming you out. I'm interested in the fact of, avoiding this bullshit altogether and making it better so everybody else come out at the end on the good end of the stick. Claims that the federal agencies are behind the prominent incident is a trope of many conspiracy theories. No, it is not. Stop with the conspiracy theorist bullshit. Fuck the word conspiracy theorist. Let's use the word research. Many researchers. Many researchers, including those surrounding the January 6th Black for Medical uprising at the U.S. Capitol. Oh, yes. Could it be possible, I say? But we see New York Week approach the FBI via email for comments on Monday. In a series of posts, Don Luca, or whatever his name is, who gives a fuck, for Dom or whatever his name is, more like Dom, I shouldn't say that, but, a prominent online commentator suggested that the march had, Dom, D-O-M, L-U-C-R-E is his name, the march had been, I thought he was someone else by the name, had been suggested that the march had been staged by two African-American Democrats, state lawmakers, Tennessee Representative Justin Jones and Justin Parson. I wouldn't put it past them nigger-ass clowns, who were expelled from the chamber last year for participating in a gun control protest on the House floor. You know what I'm saying? This is the hate that, you know what I'm saying, the so-called foster from, the hate foster, I guess fostered from their position of power in the General Assembly. I'm disgusted that the Nazis, you know, which name should not still be floating around, but we know the demon Democrats have grabbed on because they were the ones who probably did all this bullshit that we've seen, even when it comes to the German War, the American-German War, whatever, the World War II, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying, are comfortable doing this, but I am not surprised. Tragically, their views are shared by many who I serve alongside on other sides of the aisle. Yes. You know what I'm saying? But it looked like Lucre, or whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying, suggests that they were responsible for setting up the march, adding demon Democrats are desperate. In another post viewed 3.4 million times, he claimed he could confirm that the demon Democrat Representative Justin Jones was the first person to sport, you know what I'm saying, snake or whatever, a blood train snake or whatever, neo-Nazi march, in reference to Jones' video of him, you know what I'm saying, witnessing the march. Several demon Democrats, in many ways, several